Greetings, friends and members of John Calvin Presbyterian Church. This is your pastor, Casey Waite, coming once again to tell you the story, part of the story of the crucifixion from Mark's Passion narrative. I'd like to remind you that we have a Zoom service for Maundy Thursday, a brief service at 7 p.m. tonight. Details are in the email that was sent through the church. If you are not a recipient of those emails, you are welcome to email me at revcasey@johncalvinpres.org, and I will send you the link. Thank you for tuning in to this Holy Week series. We are on day 4 of our movement through Mark's Passion narrative. So far in the story, we have seen the woman with the alabaster jar who does this loving thing in anointing Jesus. We have witnessed the Last Supper that Jesus holds with his disciples, where he predicts their desertion. We have witnessed that desertion, and we are about to move into a new level of it. For though they have all fled, Peter has placed himself in the courtyard and is warming himself by the fire, so he's near all the guards. And if you will recall, Jesus has told him that he will indeed deny him 3 times before the cock crows. Listen, this is the story of God for the people of God. While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she stared at him and said, You also were with Jesus, the man from Nazareth." But Peter denied it, saying, "I do not know or understand what you are talking about." And he went out into the forecourt. Then the cock crowed. And the servant girl, on seeing him, began again to say to the bystanders, "This man is one of them." But again he denied it. Then after a little while the bystanders again said to Peter, "Certainly, you are one of them, because you are a Galilean." But he began to curse, and he swore an oath, "I do not know this man you are talking about." At that moment, the cock crowed for the 2nd time. Then Peter remembered that Jesus had said to him, "Before the cock crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." And he broke down and wept. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus and led him away and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the festival, Pilate used to release a prisoner for them, anyone for whom they asked. Now a man called Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the King of the Jews?" Because he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed Jesus over. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again, "Then what do you wish for me to do with the man that you call the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Our story was from Mark chapter 14, verse 66, through Mark chapter 15, verse 15. Now, I usually follow the story with a storytelling prompt. But I think today and tomorrow, as we finish the story of Jesus' crucifixion, I think maybe it's best that we just sit with this story, noticing what we notice about it. And like the woman with the alabaster jar who tended to Jesus in his need and saw him where he was and for who he was in that moment, let us do the same. Let us simply attend to Jesus and his story. Until next time, may God be with you and your stories.